Good morning, everybody. I must admit, when I came to Edinburgh, I didn't think I would end up with heat stroke. Hence the cricket hat. I need to stay cool. I'm in a graveyard, as per standard. I think the grave I'm looking for is that one on the big plinth, so it should be fairly easy. I'm going to tell you the story of the Great Lafayette. I came intrigued by the story basically because I'm a big fan of New Orleans and I thought there might be a connection, but there wasn't. The Great Lafayette was born in Berlin and spent a lot of years in America. He was an illusionist, a magician, and he is not really remembered anymore. I'm sure that's his grave, the one on the big plinth. But in his day, not only was he more successful than Houdini, he was a lot richer. And it's estimated the Great Lafayette at his peak was earning over $4 million a year in today's money. Now, he was known as not a very nice man. He was a bachelor and didn't have family, but what he did have was a best friend that was a dog, and the dog was called Beauty. Now, he would do anything for this dog. When he stayed away, he would have a private suite for the dog. He would have diamond crusted collars, but unfortunately, I hope that is the grave. Unfortunately, he loved his dog and spoiled his dog so much, it actually killed the dog, because the dog died basically of overfeeding. And now the Great Lafayette, there he is, was heartbroken, of course, and pleaded with Edinburgh, the councils, to bury Beauty like a human. And it ended up the Great Lafayette had to buy a plot, and he would be buried when he died in the plot, and the dog could be buried there first. So Beauty, the dog, is buried here. But tragedy struck the Great Lafayette, as only 4 days after his dog died, he was beginning a tour here in Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Theatre. I believe it's now called the Festival Theatre. And he would do his big finale was called Lion's Bride, where he would switch places with the lion, and he had lots of stagehands, fire eaters, breathers, jugglers, you know the sort. And as he was performing the final trick of the night, a lamp fell from the theatre and onto the stage, and he had very elaborate set designs, and the lamp caught fire to the carpet. Now, the audience just assumed this was all part of the trick and just stayed in the crowd, just waiting for the show to continue. But it wasn't part of the show, and when the curtain was dropped, it was only then the people left. But as the curtain dropped, it got stuck, and it created a perfect vacuum for the fire to whip up, and it became a big fire, and it killed everybody that was on stage apart from the Great Lafayette. Now, the Great Lafayette was so paranoid, like most illusionists are, about their tricks being stolen, he closed all the fire doors so all the people on stage couldn't get out. The Great Lafayette did get out, but unfortunately he wanted to go back to get his horse, I think it's legend says, and it was a stupid mistake as the fire was raging and he got killed in the fire. So only 4 days after the dog, he was buried here, and the ceremony was huge. There was said to have been over 250,000 people here for the cemetery for the Great Lafayette, who still stands on the hill, buried with his dog, the only friend he had. Also, like, history doesn't remember him whatsoever, but you might like this. I know a lot of people would like this. In his flat in London, above his door, he had a plaque, and it read, "The more I see of man, the more I love my dog." I know a lot of people that feel the same. Anyway, a quick one in Baconhart Pearshill Cemetery in Edinburgh. I hope you've enjoyed. I've walked a long way to get here, so please like and subscribe. Oh, it goes without saying, the theatre where he perished is still said to be haunted by the Great Lafayette, but also said to be haunted by a lion who was killed on the night as well. Thanks again. Bye. Oh, I did so well. I nearly remembered everything, but the thing I did forget, which is very interesting, is he was only identified in the fire by his costume, and he was sent to Glasgow. The body, and he was cremated, and then a few days later they found another body, and the other body was the actual Great Lafayette. The person they originally found was his double, and they could tell that the second body was him by the rings that were on his fingers. The bodies were obviously very badly burnt. Damn, I'm annoyed. I nearly got all the way through. I thought you would like the end bit.